Tracy McGrady. Kevin Brown lost it. Here comes McGrady. No timeouts remaining. McGrady for the win. Yes! 1.7.
33.5 points per game, scoring champion, MVP candidate. Then voted by his peers as the most overrated player in the league. This is the Athletics' 8th annual NBA Player Anonymous poll. 8th year, and you'd think the list would soften. In reality, it's the most brutal one yet. Over half the names on this year's list are new. Last year's number 1 is gone completely. A superstar averaging 33.5 points per game makes his debut. Your understanding of overrated might get turned upside down by this list. We'll break down every player on the 2026 list, why they got tagged, what the numbers say. Then look back at 8 years of evolution, you'll see a clear pattern. And finally, who's next to get this label? Let's start with the macro trend. Tyrese Haliburton, 2025's number 1, dropped to just 2.5% this year. Bradley Beal, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green all gone at the same time. Replaced by 7 new faces. Keyword for this year's list, new blood. And the standard for expectation is higher than ever. The first Turkish player in NBA history tops this list. Court charges, defensive shortcomings, targeted in the playoffs, Houston's record deemed not good enough. 2025-26 season, Şengün averaged 20.4 points, 8.9 rebounds, 6.2 assists. Still solid numbers. But on-off data tells another story. With him on court, Houston's offensive rating plus 2.9, but defensive rating drops minus 8.0, 8 more points allowed per 100 possessions. Rockets 52-30, 5th in West. Same record as last year, but with a tougher West they dropped from 2nd to 5th, eliminated by the Lakers in the first round. One player's own words, he's crying every play. He has talent, but, dude, just play hard. Another from Analyst Breakdown, multiple analysts point out Şengün's defense gets magnified in the playoffs. One outlet called him offensive talent held back by defensive limitations. A center who can't protect the rim struggles to survive in playoff basketball. His high-post playmaking is legitimately flashy, but he can't stay with guards on switches, and his rim protection numbers rank near the bottom among centers. 2025-26 playoffs, his field goal percentage dropped from 51.9% to 46.5%, 1 for 8 from 3, 12.5%. He clearly struggled against Davis's size. Şengün's case is different from the traditional overrated label. He's not on a supermax underperforming. He's a young star whose expectations are rising, and peers think media hyped him too much. This is this year's new direction, from overpaid and underwhelming to overrated equals expectations too high. Tied with Trae for second. A familiar face, perennial top 3, slipped slightly this year. Court charge unchanged, targeted in the playoffs. 2025 Western Conference Finals versus OKC, his minutes dropped from 33.2 in the regular season to 26.2, a 7-minute gap, the result of matchup hunting. But here's an important counter-argument, defensive players are inherently more likely to get the overrated tag. Gobert, Giannis, Draymond all went through the same thing, being schemed against doesn't mean lack of ability. On-off data shows an extreme split, with him on court, defensive rating improves by about 12 points, but offensive rating slows by 8.4. For DPOY awards, his defensive value is unquestionable. But modern scheme design has reached a point where if we can pull you out of the paint, your defensive value gets discounted. Gobert's own response, I'm just mostly misunderstood. It's not that he's a bad defender, it's that the league's tactical evolution has bypassed his type of defensive anchor. A regular on the list since 2022, but this year's story is completely different. 2025-26 he only played 15 games, 10 with Atlanta, 5 with Washington, then got traded. A team letting you play just 10 games before shipping you out, that's a statement in itself. Quote, a gust of wind could blow him over. Come playoff time, everybody switches on him and scores. Defensive rating 122.1, bottom of the league. The hard ceiling at 6'1". Undersized guards in the modern NBA face a physical limitation. It's not effort. Height is one variable you can't train. The glory of the 2021 Eastern Conference Finals feels distant now. His problem isn't just being overrated, it's how much confidence does the league still have in him? First time on the list. High expectations after being traded to the Knicks in 2025-26, but results fell short. Quote, he has all the skill, but he doesn't play hard enough. You can't have a soft big man as your championship center. 20.1 points, 11.9 rebounds, solid numbers. But Knicks 53-29, third in East, only made it to the second round for the trade price paid, deemed not enough. First time on the list. 2022 number 1 pick, 2024 All-Star. Quote, he's a star talent, but he's not the guy yet. Efficiency, decision-making, defense all still growing pains. But people already talk about him like he's a superstar. 2025 to 26, 22.2 points, 8.4 rebounds, 5.2 assists, 45.9% field goal. Magic 45 and 37, first round exit. On-off differential of just plus 0.3, his impact hasn't reached star level yet. First time on the list. But his case is unique. 2025 to 26 he only played about 20 games due to an elbow injury. Grizzlies were 7 and 13 with him, 25 and 57 overall. It's not Ja equals wins anymore, even Ja himself couldn't find his pre-injury explosiveness. Quote, he has talent, no question. But he's not on the floor enough. When you sign that contract and only play half the games, you're overrated. That 5-year, $197 million max extension, it sounds more like a burden every day. The question isn't skill, it's availability. Can you stay on the floor? For how long? First time on the list, the most explosive name on the entire list. The league's scoring champion at 33.5 points per game, voted most overrated by his peers. Core charges, defense and conditioning. Quote, he's an offensive genius, nobody denies that. But he's a black hole on defense. You need 4 defensive players around him just to cover for him. Luka's weight and conditioning have been discussed for years. But on-off data tells a different story, with him on court, offensive rating plus 5.6, defensive rating only minus 0.9, net rating plus 4.8 elite level. If Luka makes this list, is the overrated bar set too low? Ask any coach, who's the last guy you want to face in the playoffs? Luka's name is top 3. That's what makes this year's list so controversial. When expectations are raised to historic levels, even 33.5 points per game isn't enough. First time on the list, yet he just had a monster playoff run. Regular season, 18.1 points per game, 50.4% field goal, career high. On-off net rating plus 5.0, positive on both ends. Playoffs, 25.8 points per game, 52.3% field goal, 46.7% from 3, a full breakout. So why did he get votes? The regular season progression has been uneven. After 19.9 points per game in 2023 to 24, he's at 18.1 in 2025 to 26. The list snapshot lags reality. If Scottie makes it again next year, that's when it's a real problem. Siakam, Raptors champion wing. Pacers 2025 to 26 were mediocre, deemed unable to push the team to the next level. But fair to say, on a 19 and 63 team, the problem isn't the second scoring option. Avdija, a more surprising name. Career year in Portland, but the team was at the bottom. He probably made the list because highlights are nice but team impact is limited. Sometimes overrated isn't entirely derogatory, it's that your playstyle attracted more attention than a tanking team normally gets. Dillon Brooks, Tyrese Haliburton, last year's number 1, this year's scattered votes, Tyler Herro, Evan Mobley, Brandon Podziemski, Domantas Sabonis. Haliburton's fall is the most dramatic, last year's number 1, this year barely any votes. The brutal reason, Achilles tear in Game 7 of the 2025 Finals, missed the entire 2025 to 26 season. Pacers went 19 and 63 without him, most losses in franchise history. Haliburton's story perfectly demonstrates the media expectation amplification counterargument. 2024 breakout brings league-wide hype, 2025 labeled overrated, 2026 injury took it all away. It's the cruelest version of the hype cycle, not a talent problem, a timing problem. Bradley Beal on the list from 2024 to 2026, gone this year. Bought out by Phoenix, joined the Clippers on a 2-year, $11 million deal. Expectation hit rock bottom, so he's no longer considered overrated. This highlights a key distinction: overpaid does not equal overrated. Beal's supermax was given by Washington. A bad contract and bad skill are two different things. Once the contract stops being discussed, the overrated tag naturally disappears. LeBron James. 42 years old, defensive rating at a career low. Rationally, there's room for discussion. But unwritten rule, you don't vote for a 22-year legend who's still putting up these numbers. Kawhi Leonard. Top 5 when healthy. Calling him overrated is crossing a line. Jordan Poole. A disaster after the $128 million contract, but he's already out of the overrated conversation. Nobody thinks he's good anymore. The trajectory, overrated to overpaid to irrelevant. Once you complete that cycle, you don't even qualify for criticism anymore. Looking back, 2019 Draymond Green. 2020 Giannis Antetokounmpo, fresh off an MVP. The pattern is already clear, this list reflects expectation accumulation, not ability. Giannis's tag automatically disappeared after he won a championship. 2021 to 2024 stable core, Ben Simmons, won't shoot. James Harden, foul baiting. Gobert, playoff target. Trae Young, defensive liability. These names tell you, once the label sticks, it's hard to shake even if your game has evolved. 2025, Tyrese Haliburton, second year after his 2024 breakout, Pacers underwhelmed, narrative backlash. Then gone by 2026. History shows that most overrated is often a timing problem, the moment when peak expectation meets the valley of reality. This year, Luka making the list pushes the tension to the limit, 33.5 points per game called overrated. That's this year's most important reminder, overrated was never about absolute ability. It's about which standard you're being judged against. LaMelo Ball. Played 72 games in 2025-26, a big jump in availability. But efficiency is a real concern, 40.7% field goal, 50.7% true shooting. On-off numbers are outstanding though, Hornets score plus 14.1 more per 100 possessions with him on court, second in the league behind only Jokic. Hornets jumped from 19 to 44 wins. Ugly efficiency but real impact. He signed a 5-year, $204 million rookie max extension in 2023, running through 2029. If efficiency doesn't improve, that number will keep getting brought up. SGA. Thunder 64-18, 31.1 points per game at 55.3% field goal, swept the Suns in round 1. But if OKC doesn't win a title in the next 2 years, this is how Harden's label started shifting. From MVP level to playoff soft takes just one series. Victor Wembanyama. 2025-26, 25 points, 11.5 rebounds, 3.1 blocks, PR 29.9, Spurs 62-20, second in West. Absurd on-off numbers, net rating plus 16.9 with him on court, drops to plus 0.6 without a 16-point swing. Untouchable for now rookie Grace, media darling. But expectations have already been set at a historic level. His ceiling isn't measured against this list, it's the LeBron, Shaq tier. At the end of the day, overrated is about expectation management, not ability. Gobert can't win 4 DPOYs and not get targeted. Trae can't be 6'1" and not be a defensive liability. Luka can't average 33 and not have his defense singled out. Every person on this list was once considered the next big thing. 2027 will bring new faces. Can Şengün prove he wasn't just hype? Can Scottie carry his playoff breakout into the regular season? Can LaMelo convert games played into efficiency? This game won't change, players keep voting anonymously, keep dissing their peers, keep feeling it's unfair. But if you made this list, it proves one thing, at some point, people thought you mattered. And that debate, that's what makes this list so compelling. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to Hoop Story, hit the bell so you never miss an episode. See you next time.